What is up, guys? Fer here, and today we're going to be talking about Luffy's mom. Just a general discussion surrounding her and what we should expect from her. And obviously this is if Oda actually implements her into the actual canon story, because sometimes Oda doesn't really care about some of these things. Either that or she isn't really a main topic point for the story. But I would consider Luffy's mom to be one of those things that I think a lot of people want to know about, not only just because this is the main character's mother, but also her ties to Dragon and how that came about. And we also know that Dragon is also one of the most mysterious characters in the series, but I do think that eventually Oda might show us a glimpse or hints here and there, because first things first, we haven't even learned anything about Dragon in the first place. Right now, the only things that we know is that he's the commander-in-chief of the Revolutionary Army and that he's Garp's son. But apart from that, we don't really know much about Dragon. So I think we might get some information pertaining to Luffy's mom when we get information about Dragon's personal backstory, which I think will be revealed by Dragon himself. And the reason for this is because of what we were shown in the series, right? Dragon doesn't seem to be the type of person to talk about his past, even to his most trusted commanders. And this makes a lot of sense given who he is, because even the world government said that they don't even know where or how he came about. Now obviously they knew that he was related to Garp, but apart from that, they didn't really know where Dragon came from. So that's a mystery in of itself. And Garp probably has some secrets that, you know, he's not really telling anyone. And from that mystery, we're probably going to get something that would sort of leeway to Luffy's mom and how everything that happened before the point he was taken in by Garp. Because the earliest form of history when it comes to Luffy is that Garp was the person that was taking care of him as a kid, and afterwards that's when he dropped Luffy with Dadan, and that's when he met Ace, right? But why did that happen? Now you would expect Dragon to be the individual who takes care of Luffy somehow, but it seems like it was Garp. Garp was the person that took on that role. So there might be a relationship between Garp and maybe Luffy's mom, because we've seen Garp do this before with Ace, and perhaps the same thing happened where Dragon came to Garp and told him to take care of Luffy or something along those lines. Or maybe even Luffy's mom came to Garp to take care of Luffy. And this is something that's very common in One Piece, whereas when it comes to the Straw Hat Pirates, most of them have parents who either left them for something or just straight up died. Luffy and Usopp's case is very similar, whereas Yasop left Usopp to become a pirate on Shanks' crew. And then we have Dragon, who most likely left Luffy because of his goal with the revolutionaries to fight against the world government. And then we have Nami, Zoro, and Robin, who started the series as orphans, having no other blood-related family members. So today we're going to dive deep into who Luffy's mom is and what we're potentially going to see from her in the story moving forward. Now, the first hint we get pertaining to Luffy's mom was all the way back in SPS Volume 44, which happened during or just right after Enies Lobby. And Oda said that he was going to draw Luffy's parents with an S in the next volume, which is Volume 45. And that's when we got Dragon's first official reveal. And this baffled a lot of people because we only saw one person, even though he referenced it in a way that he was going to draw both his mom and his dad. And so a lot of theories were born from this, and something that a lot of people noticed was that there was two other revolutionary members that we see with Dragon in chapter 444, if that's the correct one. A guy, and the other one was a female who seems to be a revolutionary as well, and a lot of people think that this person might be Luffy's mom. Now the problem with this is that while it is plausible, I don't think that's Luffy's mom, given that there's barely any highlight on this person in that scene. The only person of importance in the scene was Dragon, and that was made clear in this chapter. If anything, she looks no different from any other revolutionary member that we've seen so far. She just happened to be there during Dragon's first official reveal. And it also doesn't make any sense because characters that are related to Luffy in any way, shape, or form would definitely be portrayed to be more important. And that didn't happen with this person here. Again, the resolution we got from the SPS was kind of vague. Now, one other way you could take what Oda said in the SPS is that when he was talking about Luffy's parents, he could have been referring to not only Dragon, but also Garp, who was also officially introduced as Luffy's grandfather, given that Garp has also taken the role as Luffy's caretaker back in the ASL flashback. But obviously the Dawn is really the person who took care of him. So that could be what he was referring to, Garp and Dragon. But it's still vague at the end of the day. In a sense, Oda never gives obvious answers. For the most part, he loves making the reader come up with their own interpretation of what is. But I still think that he might be keeping her reveal for later on, because Luffy's mom might be a big plot point later on in the story when it comes to Dragon and his backstory. Now, one of the bigger questions a lot of people would like to know is if Luffy's mom is dead, because there is a high chance that Luffy's mom is dead, right? And maybe that's the reason Dragon went on this journey to fight against the world government, because we know the same thing happened with Ace's mom, where she died before the series even started. So there is a case to be made, whereas Luffy's mom died in some sort of accident or something of that sort, because what I've noticed is that Oda doesn't really give much of a highlight on the mothers of One Piece, right? If that makes any sense. Now, we did get some few things from Portuguese de Rouge with her and how she was able to keep Ace in her belly for, what was it, 7 months? But we didn't really get anything else apart from the fact that she was related to Roger. So for the most part, the father plays a much bigger role in the world of One Piece, which makes sense, right? And this is also something you see a lot in shonen tropes, whereas, you know, the mom is usually dead in most cases in manga. For example, if you take Naruto or Bleach or a lot of different shonens, and even with Dragon Ball, is that the parents are usually dead before the story even starts. So this could apply here with One Piece, whereas, you know, Luffy's mom is actually dead, but eventually Luffy will find out, because we haven't gotten that much information on Dragon yet. So once we get more on Dragon, I think that's when we're going to get more information about Luffy's mom, whether she's alive or dead. Now, there's actually a big theory in the community right now, whereas people think that Luffy's mom is a celestial dragon. And I'm not sure how that theory came about. And a lot of people were saying it could be Im-sama. As you guys know, there's hints here and there about Im-sama being a woman or a female, because you can see this individual wearing some sort of dress, and his or her posture seems to be akin to that of a female, right? And so people are saying that this could be Luffy's mom, and that Luffy is very special because he hails from both the D family and is akin of the Celestial Dragon, even though these two factions would never see eye to eye. Now, Luffy's mom being a Celestial Dragon is something that I can see happening, but there's really no foundation to make any form of sense with it, because we don't have enough information about anything yet. We barely know Dragon as it is. However, this is also something that we see in a lot of different shows. Going back to my point about shonen tropes, if we take Bleach for example, Ichigo was so special because he was literally part everything, part Vizord, part Quincy, and part Shinigami. He was all types of special. Same thing could apply here with Luffy, whereas he's also very special in the sense that he hails from like both sides, right? He's a child from the D family, and he's also a descendant of the Celestial Dragon. Now, that would be a really interesting plot line, but as much as I would like it, I don't think Oda would go that way. But again, they showed Im-sama looking at Luffy's bounty. There might be something there with Im-sama and Luffy. I don't know. Just random thoughts. And when it comes to Dragon, he seems very knowledgeable, and I feel like he has ties to world government in some way, shape, or form. Ties to the Gorosei, or even maybe Im-sama, but I wouldn't put my money on Im-sama being Luffy's mom. Now, as far as Luffy's mom goes, I feel like Luffy took most of his traits from his mother, more so than Dragon, because whenever we take a look at Dragon, it's almost like he's the complete opposite of Luffy in pretty much everything. And even Luffy said this himself when he saw Dragon for the first time. First of all, they don't look alike. They have different personalities. If anything, Luffy is more like Garp when it comes to personalities and looks. And you can actually see the resemblance between Luffy and Garp, but not so much for Dragon. So I think it probably came down to Luffy's mom passing on most of her traits to Luffy. And from what we know, Dragon is a very stoic individual. He's the type of person who stays in the shadows and doesn't interact with people, which was emphasized by the fact that they said that even the top commanders of the Revolutionary Army barely knew anything about Dragon, barely knew anything about the commander that they were under. On the other hand, we have Luffy's mom, who is probably this cheerful, kind-hearted type of person, right? And I think that's where most of Luffy's character comes from. But I'm definitely excited to see what Oda has in store for Luffy's family, specifically Luffy, Dragon, Garp, and maybe Luffy's mom if he does implement her into the story. But anyways, comment down below what you guys think about Luffy's mom. Do you think she's going to show up in the story? Do you think she's dead? Or do you think Oda can just, implement her at any time in the story if he does want to make that happen? But as always, like the video if you liked it. Subscribe for more One Piece content on this channel. And follow me on Twitter if you do have a Twitter. Follow Ferro at Ferrospace. But yeah, guys, it is Ferro. And I will see you guys later. Peace.